Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin' Business Virtual Power Lunch. Please welcome your hosts, Tyler Price and Brian Magleby.
Hey.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
We be talking some business. I'm Brian Magleby with the Idaho Innovation Center, and
I'm Tyler Price with the Small Business Development Center. We're sitting in some cars. We were talking to a big car guy today, so that's cool.
We got all sorts of, I see at least one Chevy in there, so we got a great background today. We got some cars there, so we are excited to be here and be talking business. And hey, let's talk about last week's show.
Last week we had two guys on that know their stuff about patents and trademarks.
Wow, that was Chris flew in from California. We appreciate him being on the show, and what a great resource. And if you have any need for patents, get in touch with us. We can get in touch with him.
We got the right guy that can help you. Yeah,
he's just absolutely phenomenal. And then trademarks, and that's the biggest one that I've had the exposure to, that we talked about last week. But absolutely, if you cannot be, what was the saying last week? It's better safe.
If you better safe than sorry is the normal saying.
Yeah.
But if you're not, you're going to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jack will.
He's already trademarked it, so we can't worry about it.
Yeah.
So it was good to have those guys on here.
Yeah.
They did an absolutely phenomenal job. Jack is local. And if you have any questions, he's located at the Idaho Innovation Center and does some absolutely great work. We've got a great show today, but before we do that, let's hit our sponsors.
Yeah, we've got, BBSI has really helped us out, and we really appreciate those guys. You have business payroll, training, hiring, all those types of HR stuff.
They take a lot of stress out of your business, so they do a lot of things that most business owners don't want to do. And they've got some coaching there. Jared's a great business coach, and just all of them there at BBSI. What a great crew that they have there. Volpine Marketing, of course, they keep us up to date every week on our website, posting all of our shows and everything there. Great job with the guys here at Andex.
And Idaho Innovation Center and the SBDC.
Got them all in.
Yeah.
So thank you to our sponsors. We couldn't do the show without them. So let's just talk about some trainings that we have coming up here. We have a training, a QuickBooks training. Are you ready for that graphic? There we go. Mr. QuickBooks training there. It starts in the fall, but we're already getting people signed up for it. This is one of our most popular classes at the Innovation Center, and it books out fast. So if you have a need, he helps people in the beginning and intermediate levels, but he gets right down to people, everybody. I just have to say, the guy walked out again in May with his class, and once again, all 5-star reviews. So
doing well.
So he's a great instructor, absolutely. I don't think he did get one 4-star back when COVID came out last year, and it was all because of COVID and not because anything to do with him, but I still have to bug him that he did get a 4-star review. But he has the highest rating reviews of all of our trainers at the Innovation Center and Small Business Development Center. So it's absolutely a great class. We also have one called Grow Your Business. Now this is a class that is for the people who have been in business for a few years. This is the most intensive class that we teach at the Innovation Center. It is taught in colleges, and the manual is about 1.5 inches thick, and it requires some work. But I can tell you, and having done this with my large business that I had, I paid tens of thousands of dollars to get less quantity than what's in this class, and it's only $299. So it's absolutely a great class that we put on, and it's there to help really pour gas on people's business. So
yeah. No, and I've taken that class. Brian teaches it and just does a phenomenal job. I just highly endorse this class. So.
Yeah, actually Dave teaches it, but I help him with it.
There we go. That's right.
But
I did take the class there was a class from Brian and a class from Dave.
Yep. So
Dave also does a great job.
It's a phenomenal class. So if you're really looking to pour some gas on your business, this is the great one. It's a 10-week course. 3 hours a week, and it is really an intensive class, but everybody that's walked out of that class has been just stunned at how much information they get for the $300. We've had many people say they get that value in the first week. So that's why it's such a great class. So we're excited for today's show. We got Tad Jenkins.
Yeah, that's great. Car guy. I mean, man, I love cars, so I drive a 67 Bug every day. And anyway.
Absolutely. One of the big leaders of in this area, and we're excited to have Tad Jenkins on the show. We've got a little introduction video that kind of shows a little bit about Tad, and then we'll welcome Tad to the what is this?
The seat.
The green screen
the
room.
hot seat.
I drive a Tad Jenkins because my sales guy is awesome. He makes it fast and easy.
They don't stop until you get what you want.
We've had the same experience in Rigby as we have in Blackfoot, and couldn't be happier.
When I was looking to buy my truck, I went to a lot of different dealerships, and it was well worth the time and effort to go out of state to buy Tad Jenkins' vehicle.
That's the only dealership I'll deal with. I won't go shop anywhere else because they treat me like family, and it was great.
It doesn't matter the make or the model, I'll always drive a Tad Jenkins.
Doesn't
Great.
make the make or model, I'll always drive a Tad Jenkins. That's the kind of loyal customers you have.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do, yes.
Yeah.
We work at
Welcome.
that every day.
Welcome to Talkin' Business, Tad Jenkins. So kind of give us a kind of an not an update, but kind of what got you into the car business?
Well, I was in the RV business for many years,
Yes,
as
you
you
were.
know. I was both in Idaho Falls. Fish's RV was something that I started, and just we grew that up to a point. And then I was offered an opportunity back in Indiana to go to work for one of the manufacturers, which that's another experience because being on the other side of it, understanding what the manufacturer goes through and how they deal with dealers and stuff is a really big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a kind of a conforming kind of guy.
No,
you
we know
I
that.
just-
I've
I
known you
just-
for 20 years,
I
so
know,
I
I
know
know.
that.
So you know, being in the corporate world, you have to do things that you don't
Yeah.
normally do. And so anyway, I was getting a little frustrated, and so I sat down one day and I made a list of 100 car dealerships within 100 miles of Idaho Falls, and I just started calling them, and I just started asking, you know, anybody that's looking maybe to sell their car dealership? And of course, every dealer said, I'm not.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I said, well, I wasn't asking you. I was. But anyway, and one of them called me back, and it was Dave Taylor. And I'm forever grateful to Dave because of that opportunity that he gave me to actually get into the car business. And he said, how about Rigby Chevrolet? And I said, oh my gosh, dream come
Yeah,
true. And
yeah.
Right in your old
oh
hometown,
my
kind of
gosh,
close to
yeah.
your hometown.
So we made a deal, and it's been uphill from there. Uphill, exciting uphill, uphill, downhill, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
the car business, the thing about the difference between the car business and the RV business is the RV business is a fun business. So anybody that comes in, they're looking to have fun and that kind of thing. The car business, everybody needs one.
Yeah.
And so it really, if you take your customer service level to that new height, then you know the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You know, everybody needs one. And I always tell my salespeople all the time, the guy that just left in his brand new car, as he's making the exit from our place, turning right, he is thinking about his next car,
Yeah.
even though he just bought one. And that's just really cool. But
Yeah.
we love the car business. We love taking care of customers and making sure that they're taken care of. So it's been great.
Well, and then after you did that, then you acquired the Blackfoot dealership as well.
Yeah, then the 20th Century came available, and Brian Madsen made that available to me, and we got a deal put together there, and it's just been awesome. Now
Well-
we have five franchises. We're only missing GMC someday, maybe.
Someday.
You never.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Good. So what are all the franchises that you have?
we have Chevrolet, Ford, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, and Jeep.
Jeep.
So
Wow. What a great business that you've put together there. So tell us about what where things are at right now. How has things been affected by COVID and how's business been? What's been the last year and a half? Kind of recap it.
it's been crazy. It's been literally crazy. From the point of, are you going to shut down? What are you going to do? To, oh my gosh, I can't get enough stuff. To now they can't get enough chips. They've got fields full of vehicles waiting for this little 1 or 2 chips, whatever it is. And so it's been a really interesting year. It's been a great year. I'm not even going to joke about it, but COVID's been pretty good, but it was bad in a lot of ways. But it's been interesting in the car business because people, for whatever reason, they're not going on vacation. so they're still spending the money,
Yeah.
and so they're buying a car with it, which
Yeah.
has really been really good. The problem is that there's a supply issue.
Yes.
And when you have a supply issue, you obviously have a demand issue. And I don't know if you guys know, but cars wear out.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And when they wear out, you got to get another one because that's how we get around. And the bottom line is, when you take all the plants in America and you shut down for literally 60 days, and some of them switched over and started making respirators and that kind of stuff, which was definitely necessary. Each one of those plants produces somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 car a minute. Well, you take all those plants, and 1 car a minute, you take that out, it's we're in the neighborhood of 3.5 million vehicles that did not get produced.
Yeah.
And so that's just creating a demand, which this is the first time in my lifetime that I've ever seen used cars appreciate.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, this week it's worth 10 grand, next week it's worth 12.
Is it really?
And so if you're looking to trade, I mean, it couldn't be a better time. The problem is, what are you going to trade on?
Yeah.
Because everything that we've got on order probably has a deposit. We got 3 loads of Chevrolets last week, and every single one of them was already sold.
Pre-sold.
Pre-sold before.
So you mentioned the computer chip problem, and I've read a little bit on that. So how many cars do you feel are sitting in these parking lots waiting for those chips to show up?
Thousands.
Wow.
I probably should have. I had a video I could have had to show, but there's a guy that's in Michigan who's driving by a bunch of cornfields, and it's just acres and acres of these pickups just sitting waiting for this chip. In fact, Ford told us let's see, was it yesterday or the day before, they're done producing for a while because they're just stacking them up.
Yeah, yeah.
So they say every cornfield that was a cornfield is now shaved off and is being rented by the manufacturers, putting these
Put the cars
in because they can't get them to us.
And where are the chips? Are they coming from overseas?
China.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, my 67 Bug doesn't have any chips.
No,
in
it doesn't
just
have no
so you know.
chips.
Yeah.
No.
You will not
In
be
fact,
waiting.
you need to be trading that,
Yeah.
because that is, But they're talking about, this fall they're going to get that taken care of. But we're probably in this situation for probably another 18 months for sure, if not longer. Because if you don't produce, you don't have vehicles.
So and then you're also being in the RV space. So during COVID, it was people aren't going places, flying around as much. So then you saw a pretty significant uptick. Like people were, the national parks were through the roof in terms of numbers. So anyway, what did you see in terms of increase in business for you guys?
It on the RV side, it was a frenzy.
Yeah.
I was, until September of last year, the president of National Indoor RV Centers, which is a large dealership out of Texas, and it just went nuts. And it's not even slowing down. And then the problem is, again, it's really nice to the chip point. You can produce these trucks, you can produce these RVs, but if you can't get a refrigerator, you can't get a refrigerator. And if the refrigerator can't get the board to put in the back to make sure it operates, so it's a real.
Stops
it
everything.
really was a supply. It was a big supply chain problem that just isn't going away anytime soon until people get it taken care of. But it's starting to. I mean, the bottom line is we're taking care of the customer. We're making sure that we're communicating with them as best we can. Sometimes we mess up and make a mistake, but we continue to communicate with them, let them know when their vehicles are going to be coming. We actually had a funny story, not a funny story, because a funny story would be that it didn't affect a person, and so I don't want to say it's funny, but this guy ordered I think it was an Equinox, and it got to Silverbow, which is our the depot where the trains unload and then they put them on the trucks, and that's up by Butte, Montana. And they lost the key to the boxcar.
Oh, no.
Well, the boxcar company can't break into it because it's got GM vehicles in it. GM can't tell them to break. So here's this car sitting in this boxcar for 2 weeks that has a chip in it. We can't get it. We can't get it, and the customer's irritated, obviously. And, but it's just things like that.
Control.
It's like, oh my gosh, what else could go wrong? But
well, I lose my keys on a regular basis. That's why I have tiles on everything. So
is that
maybe
right?
They should put tiles on that. Just
they should.
From
just
a
on the
guy that's good
boxcar,
at losing
right.
keys, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So, do you have a favorite vehicle that that you, because again, I like Volkswagen, and there's a reason I like my little Bug, but do you personally have a favorite vehicle that you like to drive around in and be seen in and things like that?
I think I know the answer to this one.
I love all my children.
Yes. Yeah, but some a little more than others. We just don't publicly say it. But if you're going out on a Friday night, what car do you want to go drive out?
Well, I mean, obviously the sports cars
Yeah,
are fun. I mean, both Ford, Dodge, and Chevy both have some amazing muscle cars that really make you feel good.
They do.
When you push on that right pedal,
Yeah.
that one on the right.
It sounds good.
Yeah,
It throws your head back a little bit.
Yeah, it's really cool. But
Yeah.
but you know,
What's in your garage today, I guess, is the question.
see,
Probably
you guys
one of
just
each.
keep
One of each
pressing.
one.
You keep
We're not
pressing.
gonna
You
be.
keep
We don't have favorites here. But, so.
I actually was driving a Dodge half-ton diesel. My dad drove it. He was driving a Ford F-150. I'm now driving the Ford F-150. He's driving the Dodge.
Yeah.
He liked it better the way it fit. And really, it's about preference. You know, a lot of people, switching brands sometimes is like switching religions.
Yeah.
It's how it feels and fits.
Yeah.
And they all have their different feel and fit. And right now, we used to say, well, the Chevy has a little better resale value. The Ford has got some more amenities. The Dodge is more of a work truck, get it done kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now they're all really nice, and their
Yeah.
values are way
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
The auctions are crazy.
Yes, they are.
Crazy.
But are you spending time in the auctions yourself in purchasing, or you have people that have expertise at that's their level? So.
Yeah, I have a used car manager, and
Yeah.
he spends every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday doing nothing but watching auctions
Right.
and trying to get vehicles for us. But we're still selling, we're still getting new because we stepped up. I mean, last July, my son came to me and he said, Dad, I think we need to order some more Dodges. And I said, well, how many do you think we need to be? And he says, well, I think we ought to order 10 half-tons and maybe 10 heavy duties. And I said, why don't we order 100 of each?
Yeah.
And he was like, and luckily we did, and because we had the orders in there, then we're still getting some of those. And so we still give good trade-ins, so we take a trade, and then we've got a good trade to sell the next people. I've never really been an auction guy. In fact, for years, we didn't even do auction cars because we wanted to make sure that the car that we sell to the next customer is absolutely what we would.
Yeah.
One of my things is, I just touched my microphone.
Yeah.
That probably made everybody.
That's
But
all right.
anyway, one of the things that I tell our employees is that we don't want to sell any car to any individual that we wouldn't put our grandmother in it and let her go to California alone in it.
Yeah.
If we don't feel confident that that car will make it and that she'll be fine, don't do it to our customer.
Absolutely great. What are some other things that the Tad Jenkins Auto Group stands by? Small town.
Small town values endure,
Okay.
which means the handshake is important. We have, salespeople. I don't know if you know about salespeople, but they sometimes continue talking when they should be thinking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so they may say something that this car has or did or whatever.
Overpromise,
and,
underdeliver.
mhm, and if they say it, we're gonna honor it because that's what we do. But I think the biggest thing is, people say, what is the difference? Why? What's happening? And I say, I want you to be, I want you to sit down because this is going to blow your mind, okay? This is the secret. I got a secret for you.
Yeah.
And they say, what is it? And they start to, what is it? And they say, we're nice.
Yeah.
We just try to be nice. Just try to make sure that we understand that they are making a purchase that is somewhat stressful, and we don't want to make it stressful. Bottom line is we sell every new car at invoice, period. We don't play any games with it. Even through this, every car's been an invoice, except specialty vehicles,
Right.
which is like Corvette,
Corvettes, yeah.
Raptor,
Yeah.
those kind of things that, are definitely
Premium.
'Cause
premium.
You get a limited number.
Right.
I mean.
yeah. But even limited number on HD pickups today, we're still doing it at invoice because I feel like that if we do that during these times, hopefully the people will remember when it's good times because that's just our program.
Yeah.
And-
And you mentioned like when someone's driving off your lot, they're thinking of their next purchase.
They are.
And so that's not a one-time sale. You're talking generations and generations of potential people because you do it right. So,
Right.
Yeah. So then you were sitting there about, you said 8 years ago and said, I got to start buying car dealerships, right? what was that? I guess what was the catalyst to say I want to be in the car space? Because RV is similar but different at the same time. Right?
Yeah, it's identical, only completely different.
Yes, exactly.
The thing about the car business always intrigued me for years. I mean, just years, because, you know, years ago I was, Carl Tyler, a mentor of mine. He probably did more good for me as an individual just by taking time to take this young guy and tell him things that are cool. And so it intrigued me early on in my life to want to be in the car business. And when I sold out of the RV business to my brothers and went back east and did that, I didn't have a non-compete, but my bathroom mirror did. Yeah. And I just didn't feel like that would be right to come back to Idaho Falls and restart a deal. And so that's why I thought, well, you know, maybe it's time. And it was a leap of faith because I don't know if you know, but getting approved with a manufacturer and not having any car experience, that was,
I'm sure.
Yeah, that was not an easy process, but we got them convinced, and I'm a pretty good sales guy, and
yes, you are.
got it done. So, but I love it. I love it because, again, everybody needs one.
Yeah.
And I get to be friends with everybody. I always say, when a customer comes in and they're buying, and I go over and introduce myself, I say, so you're my newest best friend. Yeah. You know, that's what it's about. It really is about that.
So there is this negative thing about people say used car salesmen, right? And I sold cars, so I take exception to that. Yeah. I love selling. And the thing that really impacted me back then was, because I loved it, but when 9/11 hit, talk about putting the brakes on an industry, that like really, that's when they went to 0% just to start moving stuff, right?
And that was the car crush era.
Yeah. So then but how do you feel about that when someone's talking negative about salespeople specifically, and they say, "Oh, it's just that you know they use that."
Great salespeople at your place. So.
We do. That's one thing that I just when I first got the opportunity to have Rigby Chevrolet, David Taylor gave me that. I was sitting with one of my best friends, and we just went to lunch, and I said to him, I was so excited, and it was kind of quiet, and I could only tell a few people, and I told him, I said, I'm so excited, I'm buying a car dealership. And he literally looked at me and literally got sick to his stomach. Yeah. And I was like, and he said, you're going to be a car dealer? And I said, yeah, I'm excited about that. And he said, I'd rather have a root canal without anesthesia than have to buy a car. Wow. And that really made me think, because, you know, the other slogan we have is, we're here to change the way cars and trucks are bought. No one likes to be sold anything. Right. We're here to allow you to buy what you're looking for. And so that's one of the things that we talk about in every one of our sales meetings and every one of our company meetings is, you know, we want to take care of the customer as though we had flipped it. I mean, every Monday morning we have a meeting and we read a book together as a whole staff, and we talk about customer service and what it feels like. And we actually talk about customer experiences. So that's one of the things they're supposed to bring to us is when they went to a restaurant and they had a bad experience, how did that make you feel? Yeah. You know? And I want them to feel that so that we don't ever do that to our customers. Doesn't mean we don't, but again, we're trying to change that persona of the car business and this big negotiation and back and forth and all this stuff. We have to make a profit. Yeah. That's what the lights. I mean, the electric company, they don't negotiate. Okay, they just send me a bill, and we just want to make a fair profit. That's all, and take care of the customer.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's part of it. Is like people want to come in and some look forward to trying to beat up your guys and get the price lowered and stuff. But it is, at the end of the day, you guys got a significant amount of overhead. Buying a dealership isn't cheap. All those things. So what was going through your head as you were negotiating that, or you just knew this was my calling? I have to do this. I'm getting back in the game from running my own RV stuff to running somebody else's stuff to coming back. So, but I guess in looking at that, you know, that's a significant amount of investment that you got to cover. So, were there any little doubts in the back of your head saying, why are you doing that? Yeah.
Scared to death.
Yeah.
You know, you hang your shingle up and you just hope that people will come, and you hope that they will feel it when they come. And when they feel it, when I say when they feel it, when they walk in our dealership, are our employees happy? Yeah. I mean, and I tell our employees all the time, if you're not happy here, let's figure out something else, because Because if you're not feeling happy, you're not having a good day, you're going to portray that to the customer, and he's not going to want to be here. We want it to be an easy process. We want people to be taken care of. And yeah, it was definitely, I mean, it was laying it on the line big time.
Yeah. And when we have a guest speaker on here, we have them fill out kind of a questionnaire type things. And I just got to read this because it really hits home with a lot of people out there that are watching this show, that some of your new business recommendations, have a good business plan. Go in with the desire to make it work and an attitude of failure is not an option, and plan on working 80 hours a week. And I can tell you that kind of dedication is what it takes to be successful, and that's what you did.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. Failure is not an option. How many of you seen the movie Top Gun?
Yes.
No, it wasn't Top Gun.
Well, I've seen
no,
that.
which
I
was
can tell you.
Apollo 13.
Okay, Apollo
That's
13,
the one.
yes.
And when, you know, they're having problems with whatever modulator, and the guy comes in the room and he dumps
Failure
out all
is
this stuff.
not an option.
We're going to make this work, and failure is not an option. And that's been one of my favorite scenes, and I've lived by that because we're not going to fail.
No, I think that's fantastic. And again, I just having been in the dealership industry and loved it, and 9/11 just kind of killed what I was up to and that. But I always look at the car guys and have a lot of respect for them and appreciation. So because that was a good time in my life. So.
Tad Jenkins Auto Group has built quite a thing here in Eastern Idaho. And Tad, is there anything else that you want to tell us about your employees or your dealerships? Anything that's coming ahead? Anything that you want to talk about to the business community here in Idaho?
I don't really have anything other than just we appreciate being part of the community. And I am grateful to every single one of my employees for the dedication and the time that they put in, because they're working hard. And a lot of times they don't get the accolades and the thank yous that they deserve. And they're amazing. I've always said, I'm not here to get wealthy, I'm here to create wealth. And we have pay plans that if we do well, they do well. And that's what we want to do. And but we're grateful to be part of the community. We want to continue to do more and more, whatever is necessary. And we just want to earn your business. We don't want you to have to, we want to earn your business.
That's the kind of people we like, and I can tell you from personal experience in buying a vehicle there that they followed up with me and they did every single thing that they said that they would do. So absolutely great. If you want a good car buying experience, automobile buying experience, they have them all. So check out Tad Jenkins Auto Group. Tell us about this quote that you got here, Tad. I love this quote that you have.
Someone told me this quote years ago, and you know, we get running on the treadmill of life, and you know, today is a gift and tomorrow is not promised. And if you've ever had a really good friend pass away,
yep,
that right there makes all the difference in the world, because what would we wouldn't give for a little more of that gift today?
One more day.
One more day.
Very good. Good deal. Well, thank you, Tad Jenkins. Great to have you and part of the community. You continually, continue to inspire people here in Eastern Idaho, and hopefully some of the newer business owners out there will take some of the advice that Tad's given and really go for it out there. And so thank you. We wish you the best with your auto dealerships, and we know that that success is ahead for you. So very good. Thank you, Tad.
Thank you.
We're going to do a little end the show today with some training on employee reviews. We have talked about this, but we're going to go a little more in depth on this. We're going to watch a quick video here talking about employee reviews, and then we're going to kind of summarize up. This is one of my key things, is I do a lot of consulting with businesses that I feel like is really an underserved aspect of many businesses out there. So we're going to be talking about that after we watch this quick video.
Today we're going to talk about employee performance reviews and how
Sticking around for lunch, or what do you got?
helping to guide employees' performance, compensation, and professional development. Hello, and welcome to HR Over Coffee, a video series covering timely and trending topics in HR and benefits, brought to you by the experts at HR 360. To maximize the effectiveness of your evaluation process, employers should review the employee's overall performance based upon specific job-related criteria and provide concrete examples related to performance issues. Be sure that your documentation is direct, factual, and detail-oriented. And remember to be honest with your employee performance reviews. If you provide a very positive review of an employee without detailing the problems, you now have documentation that does not support a decision to discipline or terminate. Documenting employee performance evaluations is key when conducting performance reviews to inform employees about the quality of their work, identify areas needing improvement, and set goals for performance. Specific areas of performance to include in your employee evaluation form include quality of work, attendance and punctuality, dependability, communication skills, judgment and decision-making, initiative and flexibility, teamwork, job knowledge, training and development. Performance records can provide important documentation for your company in the event a disciplinary action, termination, or other adverse personnel decision becomes necessary. Be careful that your review process and measurements of performance treat employees equitably and avoid any statements or actions that can be construed as discriminatory. For more tips on employee performance reviews, download our free sample employee evaluation form by clicking on the free HR Tools section of the HR 360 website.
All right.
There we are.
There we are.
Good.
Boy,
Well,
employees matter, right?
That's
First
right.
off, so
They
anyway.
they do. So that's a kind of a great video, just talking about, you know, making sure that you do certain things. We've got a graphic of some things that I kind of put together that to summarize this. And there's and if you want copies of this, just send us an email. Send it. You can send it to Brian at iictr.com, and we'll get you copies of what we're going to talk about today. And but one of the biggest things that you got to remember to do is do them on a regular basis. And I like it. Here's how I kind of do it. All the new employees that I meet with, I do it on a monthly basis to get up and going. And then as it gets going, as they get up and they've been there for 6-9 months, they're comfortable, that I start doing it on a quarterly basis. After they've been there and I do that for quite a while, till about 5 years. And then we get where we can just do it on an annual basis after 5 years. But do it on a regular basis. That's just a key thing, is that you got to have set times that you're meeting with your employees.
Yeah. No, and I love what Tad said when we were talking. And he's like, I'm talking to my people every day. We're doing reviews every day.
And that's a great thing. That's why he's got some great employees at Tad Jenkins Auto Group.
So, and then set goals each during the reviews. I think it's, if we're not working towards something and you have an expectation for employees that they're just kind of walking through the motions, if they have something they're working towards, because people take pride in their work.
Yep.
And I think that just ultimately helps the bottom line, and not just growing the business, but helping them grow as a person too.
It is, and that's a great thing, is that you got to always be stretching the employees. Use a review form, and I've got a form here that I'm going to share. It's kind of a real generic form. It's right here, and I put your logo on it. I can send it out to you. But this is just a simple form. I've actually adapted it since this one, and it has a service rating by both the employee and the manager on it, and so this is a great little simplified form, but it makes it so that they have to come in and report where they're at, what they're doing, how they're doing at it, and what the areas that they could improve on. So
yep. And then document progress between reviews. I think maybe not talking about that specifically, but I think sometimes as an employer, I find that I don't tell my people how much I appreciate them, when the reality is I do appreciate them.
I lose sleep at night because I don't do that, and that's just a huge problem. I don't know if it's a men problem, a boss problem, or what, but
it is. But when it's something that I'm focused on, and I say, you know what, I really appreciate you, just the look in their eyes, like, oh, I mean, they're people, they matter, they're doing hard things for us.
Some people, want recognition in a sales meeting. Some people want the dinner certificate. Some want a trip to Hawaii. Whatever it is. But just document their progress, and it's a great thing. And the last thing that's kind of really important when you're with any employees, and Tad talked about this as we were talking about it with him before, is that be there and listen to the employees. If they're not happy, the customers aren't going to be happy, and other people around them aren't going to be happy. So listen to them and hear their concerns. So hopefully you do that on a regular basis. So next week, let's just talk about next week. We've got a great guest. He's actually coming here from Boise. He owns a business, and he has multiple locations. He has a location here in eastern Idaho, but his main is out of Boise. Jason Combs, he's a published author. He runs some recovery facilities in the state of Idaho. Absolutely inspiring book. He's also a triathlete, which hits well with me and stuff. So we're going to have a great talk next week with Jason Combs. He'll be here, and we'll be talking live with Jason, and he's got some very inspiring things that for business owners out there. So
all right.
So we be talking business.
We be talking business. Well,
Thanks,
we're grateful
everybody.
for Tad being here, and let's get out of here.
Make it happen.
Oh,
there we
sorry.
go. Thumbs up.
I did my peace sign.